Again, my name is Linda Lilly. This is my 18th year as an employee of Dearborn Public Schools. I've worked for 17 years as an occupational therapist in the district. However, this year I transitioned into a new role as a preschool autism coach. While I'm still an active member within the OT department, mentoring new OTs in the district and doing committee work to help strengthen OT service guidelines for our special education students. So I come here tonight as the month of April is very close to my heart. First, it's the month of the young child. It's Autism Awareness or Acceptance Month, and it's also OT Month. So to me, it's basically the big trifecta month with having all three of these areas of my professional interest intersecting. I come here tonight to recognize all the amazing staff that work with our preschool programs, including the developmental preschools, Great Start Readiness Program or the GSRP, Early Childhood Special Education or the ECSE classrooms, Autism Preschool, PO-High Preschool, CI, SXI programs. Second, I want to recognize all the preschool through high school staff of our autism center-based programs, resource rooms, and teachers across the district that accept children with autism into their general education classrooms and love and support them like all the other children in their classrooms. From the teachers, the paraprofessionals, social workers, speech-language pathologists, the OTs and PTs, it truly takes a village to provide the best education and support services for all the young children and students with autism. Lastly, I want to recognize the 15 full-time occupational therapists that service the special education students across the district. It's not a job with a faint at heart. From preschool to high school, from center-based classrooms to students who are fully included in the general education classrooms, from students with a very large range of abilities and special education eligibilities, from just direct services to consult, to working with teachers through MTSS, from working in multiple buildings and having caseloads that sometimes seem overwhelming, from IEPs, evaluations, and wraparound meetings, it's a tough job. But Dearborn has some of the very best OTs. I'm proud to be a part of the OT family. Thank you for all the staff who work so hard day in and day out to service our education students. I'm proud to call myself an OT, a part of the district-wide autism team, and to be a part of Dearborn Public Schools. On a side note, to show your support for Autism Awareness or Acceptance Month, I invite you to come out to Whitmore Bowls for Walk for Autism on Friday, April 28th from 2:45 to 3:30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise Tomlinson, employee from Huntington Woods, would like to come to speak to the board about the POHI program.
Good evening. I'm Denise Tomlinson. I'm the teacher consultant for the POHI program and assistive technology in the district. POHI is the acronym for physically and otherwise health impaired. I just wanted to give a shout out to the teaching and ancillary staff that work with our center-based programs throughout the district at Cotter, Nowlin, Stout, and Edsel Ford, and also those who provide support and services to the 70 outreach students that we have in almost every building in the district. And then I also wanted to specifically give thanks and appreciation to the entire special education team at Stout for their exceptional and significant support that they have given to the POHI students this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, a parent, Rosa Jazzo from Dearborn, would like to come to speak to the board about autism awareness.
Hello, my name is Rosa Jasso. Thank you for listening. I have two kids with special needs autism, nonverbal. So I had a bad experience on March 16th. I go pick up I'm not getting real details because I know I only have a short amount of time, but I did pick up my daughter from school, and what I witnessed was unbelievable. She was being held down in her chair by a pro-professional and screaming at her, holding her down and screaming at her face like a drill sergeant at my daughter. It was unbelievable me witnessing this after I've been also making complaints, witnessing, noticing bruises on my daughter, handprints on my daughter, and every time they say, I'm sorry, When I noticed the bruises, I reported. Each time the investigation said there was no restraints being used, but Dalia kept coming home with bruises. And also on that day, the parapro also came at me, and I just asked her, please do not do this to my daughter, because special ed department also assured me this is not happening at time and time. This is since fall, and this has been happening, and I'm sad. This is like, and then also how she behaved with me and my daughter. I fear. My daughter has not been to school back yet because I fear for her life. I don't know what's going on. This investigation, I still haven't heard anything about it. What's going on? What are they gonna do about it? You know, it's bad enough that you have to trust these people when your kids are nonverbal. I just want to know what's going on. I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel safe for my daughter to go to school here. And I noticed there was another incident that happened this year, a child being restrained, improperly restrained inside the district. What would it take? What's going to take for you guys to take care of our children, our nonverbal? They come to school to be safe and educated. We should not fear for our lives or for our children's lives taking them to school. It's not always been like this. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just saying what's going on just recently. And me coming forward, telling over and over to the special ed department about these bruises, and they come up with nothing. That's very scary, you know, because who's going to stick up for these children? Who? Nobody. So what I demand, what the board's going to make the district do about something about this? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I want to know what's going to happen. What are they going to do about it to make sure our kids are safe? Is it going to take a class action lawsuit against the district? I demand that the board does something about it. And I also would like, if they could put cameras in these classrooms with these non-verbal children. They deserve somebody to watch over them.
The 3 minutes is up,
Thank
but
you.
no, that's fine. We'll make sure to start getting answers for you tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Next, Crystal Jean would like to speak to the board about student success.
How many times do I have to come up here after a mother speaks of a special needs student? You all know that my son's autistic, and I didn't give him to the special needs department for that reason. We're again proving Crystal right once again. I worked with the special needs director. I personally gave him one of the best things that any parent could have gave him, and that is with an ABA center in Dearborn with the proper therapist, the proper training. Why didn't it happen? I don't know. Why is that? What's it going to take for a child to die? A nonverbal child? We had the harness incident. That incident, the incident now, a bit more, can go on and on and on. You guys really need to get your head out of your asses, literally, before a child dies. For that rant is over. What is going on with the sex ed? What is the update? Because we voted last month, and all the 4 different committees that you guys put in before it went to the school board. The presentation was supposed to be tonight. So, what's going on? If you think that you're going to stonewall me and I'm just going to go away because my son's graduating, I started something and I'm sure not how I'm going to finish it. So whatever you think by stonewalling me, not going away. If I have to stand on the corner and pass out curriculums, hey, I'll buy myself a printer and a freaking lifetime of paper. So you guys need to figure out something, because this, every single meeting is the same thing over and over again. No changes, but we get awards.
Thank you.
Next, Stephanie Butler would like to come to speak to the board about student success.
So I also wanted to touch base on the sex ed just because from what I'm hearing and consulting with attorneys about the law is like the sex advisory board, which was created. We did our job. From us, it is supposed to go directly to you for a vote. Instead, Dearborn has decided to stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here, all along from the time it leaves us to the time it goes to you. Inappropriate, improper. Our whole job, the role of the Sex Advisory Board is to meet, make decisions, not that it goes to all these other committees for their input once we're done. We've decided it needs to be presented to the board, and I don't think it should be bypassed. I think we should follow the law. We're out of compliance anyway. I'm just going to stop on that. I've heard so much, my head is spinning, and I wanted to touch base on a few things. All we ever talk about here is diversity, equity, and inclusion, okay? Do you think things are getting better in Dearborn or progressively worse? I don't hear anything about math tutoring, reading programs, trainings. It's all diversity, equity, inclusion. What do you see what's happening? All these kids are being left behind. Our special needs kids are being abused. Our kids are not reading. Those kids that you tracked that I watched on the way, what have we done from then till now? Nothing. They're still in the same position. You know, and then you guys sit here and I don't even know how much research this board does about the items that are brought forward. For example, they talked about Eureka Math. I'm just going to read a little statement from the Eureka Math, and I just want to know what does any of this have to do with math? 2 + 2 = 4, period. I don't care how you go about it. But we're going to talk about Eureka Math. It offers opportunities for students to explore themselves and their families and see positive representation of themselves through the material. People represent diversity. Problems with exercises relate to real-life experiences, perspective, people from various cultures, ethnicities, and gender identities. What the hell does gender have to do with math? The kids can't even do math. They cannot read. What? You guys have to, you guys are like asleep at the wheel. Honest to God, you're asleep at the wheel. Something's got to give around here, you guys, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Next, board follow-up.